First of all, how do you receive breakfast when you are not on the menu? I don't get it. How do you receive breakfast if you are not in the restaurant? How do you receive breakfast if you are not misleading and giving unclear signals for me to actually think there was a restaurant for me to serve you breakfast? It's just a question. I would like answers at the end of the evening. My name is Helen. I have loved. I have cried. I have wept. I stood up, and I'm alive. Maybe that's the experience she's alluding to. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask you a series of questions as we go along. Please, I need you to be honest. I need you to open your mind, and I need you to listen. Raise your hand if you've ever been in love before, whether it's for 5 minutes, 10 days, 1 year. I don't want to know how it happened or it didn't happen, if it has ended, if it was breakfasted or not. I've been in love before. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Pastor D, you're not in love? Love is such a beautiful thing. When you are in love, you feel like you can slay dragons, right? You can take on the world. Everything is right. You have strength. You can do anything. You can achieve anything. You can rise above it all. Nations have gone to war because of love. Raise your hand if your heart has ever been broken. Love is, please put down your hands. The topic of love, the issue of love is very, very wide. Love is a beautiful thing. There are stages to it. There are levels to it. But this evening, I want to concentrate in the few moments that I have is to talk to you about picking up the pieces. Picking up the pieces. Heartbreak is one of the most uniquely painful human experiences. Feeling heartbroken can be an all-consuming physical, mental, and emotional sensation that takes a toll on your hope to get love back in one day in the future. But the truth is, I will share with you this evening is, love will find us all. Love will hurt us all. But it is only love that will save us all. Now, falling out of love, it's a roller coaster, I tell you. It is a terrible experience. I met this boy. He was my first boyfriend. Everything I wanted was in him. We clicked. It was magnificent for 4 years. Then I was served a buffet. It wasn't a breakfast. In one moment, my life was shattered. In one moment, I lost meaning. In one moment of confession, everything that I thought was true was destroyed. So it's an unfortunate roller coaster. So let me speak to you. If you have experienced heartbreak and you healed, this is for you. I need you to hear me. If you haven't experienced heartbreak, arm yourself because it will come, but you will know what to do. If you have experienced heartbreak and at the back of your mind, you have come to the decision that I am done, it's not for me, it's overrated, I still need you to listen because there's something you need to hear this evening. Before we go any further, I must tell you this. If you choose to love, then you must prepare to forgive. A lot was said by the singles. Yes, there's communication. Yes, there are things that are important to you. Yes, you must work at it. But the most important thing is if you choose to love, then you must prepare to forgive. I will share with you some practical tips on picking up your pieces. I will share some tips from my experience, from what I have studied, and from the experience of others. There is something that was said that is very, very key. And that is where I am going to start from. To rise from the ashes of heartbreak, the first thing you need to do is acceptance. The first thing you need to do. Forget about, I'm going to show you different pieces of this puzzle. You can be at different stages, at different points in time. But the first thing you need to do is accept that you've experienced trauma. Have you ever, how did it feel to have your heart literally ripped? You felt the pain. It's bleeding. You can actually feel it pumping. You can actually feel it shattering. It is a trauma. It is an experience. You have suffered loss. It is akin to grief. It is hard adjusting to the new normal. So please let me tell you, if it will take you 2 weeks, let it take you 2 weeks. If it will take you 2 months, let it take you 2 months. Your process is your process. Please, if you are by any chance supporting someone through a heartbreak, it's never too short. It's never too long. Your process is not their process. So the first thing you want to do is accept that I have been hurt. I was done wrong. Before we go to the issue of how could he, what did I do, what did I do to contribute to this? That doesn't matter. You first of all start with acceptance. And one of the most important things I need you to do is to center on the truth. After you've accepted, I need you to recenter on the truth. When bad things happen, the shock is usually followed by lies. I apologize to my husband, to the pastor, to all honorable men seated here and online. Men are bastards. You've come to that conclusion before. Don't be telling lies. There is no such thing as a good girl. Where are the men in the house? Love is a scam. It's not worth it. It's not for me. It's something that it's in the fairy tales. In real life, true love does not exist. I need you to understand something, that this is the devil's attack. Yes, you say, PhD, you can't spiritualize heartbreak. But have you realized, I've come to realize that we've separated God to spiritual warfare. When it comes to I've lost my job, you are breaking down the door of heaven. When it comes to I need a husband, when it comes to the time your biological clock is ticking, when it comes to breaking limits, when it comes to wanting that promotion, you bombard heaven. It is warfare. But technically, we have separated God from everything. God is not to be applied in spiritual matters only. God wants to be involved in every part of your life. I remember when I was in pain and I was like, God, this heart you gave me, it's killing me. It's suffocating me. I can feel it breaking. What manner of pain is this? God is close to the brokenhearted. Let me read to you from the book of Psalm 34, 17 to 18. I'll read the Message translation. Is anyone crying for help? God is listening, ready to rescue you. If your heart is broken, you find God right there. If you are kicked in the gut, he will help you catch your breath. Psalm 147 verse 3, the easy to read version of the Bible, he heals their broken hearts and bandages their wounds. Have you ever tried to put an ornament together that is broken? How do you do it? Gently. When you want to piece together your last 1K, it's tore. How do you do it? You have not torn your last 1,000 naira before? That you checked all the pockets in your jeans, in your backpack, and you pulled it and it ripped. And that's the last thing you have. You put it together gently. God is interested in every aspect of your life. We're talking about recentering on the truth. Because when I was with this young man, 4 years, I had named my children. He had met my parents. We were family friends. There was nothing that was going to go wrong. We had spoken about everything. So when he shattered me, that is what it felt like. Broken pieces all over the floor. But do you know that God is the one who gave you the range of emotions? Every range of emotion that you have was given to you by God. So he understands your pain. He understands where you're coming from. God creates, and God created love because God is love, right? Are we in agreement? The devil does not have the power to create. So what does the devil do? Corrupts. So the devil has made it his business to corrupt love. You see, there is attack. There is the event. He broke my heart. And then I went spiraling. Men are bastards. Men are not to be trusted. All this thing is a scam. And the challenge is not the heartbreak, but the conversation that you are having, the conversation you're perpetuating with your girlfriends, the conversation that you're sharing with your brothers. The devil is attacking the institution of marriage, making you believe that love is not worth it. Men cannot be trusted. Women are not honorable. They are all Ron's girls. They are all in it for the money. You cannot find a good girl now. So the devil attacks and he goes through conversations. Your heartbreak, my heartbreak was the event, but the conversations I was having, I need you to understand something. The devil is attacking your greatness. It may sound weird because what does love have to do with anything? Understand that he's fighting your potential greatness. Imagine this. I was heartbroken. She mentioned that I am the resident pastor of Lekki Church. Please, if I've ever inspired you, raise your hand. If you think Mrs. Daniel is cool, raise your hand. If you've ever had a challenge and I have somehow, if not sorted it all the way, but been with you through the process, raise your hand. Now, imagine if the devil took me out. Men are bastards, men are scum. I don't believe in this. And I miss out on that opportunity. And most people, married people especially, they are doing life carrying baggage. Hurts people. So when you are hurt, you will perpetuate it. So I would teach my daughter to protect herself. I will neglect my son and teach him to be honorable. That is what the devil is attacking. It is going way beyond my heartbreak in 2003. I was unraveling one day, and I was in the presence of this guy, and I was spewing all levels of venom. And one day he said to me, "But your father is a man." And he got me there. The only reason why that song, because my father was the best. He was utterly amazing. I saw it. I grew up under a great man. So I knew what great men look like. But that one incident wiped that respect for great men. And he sent me back. What is going on here? So when you are in despair, it is difficult for you to achieve. This great man that I was talking to, this boy at the time that I was spewing all that negativity to, is the husband that I married, the father to my 2 children, the reason I am a pastor today. Do you see the ripple effect of what the devil is fighting? It is not just that heartbreak. It is your potential for greatness. The devil attacks you head on. And what is his mission? For deception, to distract you, to discourage you. I need you to understand that this heartbreak thing, it's not just a physical thing. It is spiritual warfare. So when you truly begin to believe that love is not for you, thoughts create feelings. Feelings create actions. Then you begin to behave in a certain way. Do you know that you can put off people from the way you speak? If not for, I don't know, but I would say if not for God in the life of Mr. Daniel, because God knows I spewed venom. He had no business being around me. I was toxic. I was negative. You need to be careful because people get that from you. I don't want to be around her. She's negative. I don't want to be around him. He's toxic. You become lonely. You become alone. And isolation is what predators do. Animals, the devil, and abusers. They will single you out. And you get exposed. If I had hardened my heart, I will not be a blessing. If I had hardened my heart, yes, I will still get married. I will tick the boxes. But there will be no true fulfillment. And if I don't know what true fulfillment is, how do I teach that true fulfillment exists? Now, there was an opportunity. There's a lady I was close to. And she asked me one day, she said, "You broke up with this gentleman. What happened?" And this is what I did. It didn't work. Listen, in any way you can think of he did wrong by me, he did. I will leave it to your imagination. But I had healed to the point where I knew that I was rejected, I was discarded, I was scorned, but it did not affect who I was. It did not affect the love or the beauty or the person I was. For the longest of time, I dealt with depression. I was dealing with inferiority complex. A lot of people think I'm strong, but I wallowed there for a while. That was the enemy's plan. You need to recenter on the truth. God loves you. The enemy is trying to attack you. The guy was a vessel. The girl was a vessel. What he's trying to attack is the greatness in your potential for greatness, your future, your children, the men that you would raise, the women that you would raise. That's what the devil is after. Listen, ships don't sink because of the water around them. Ships sink because of the water that gets into them. Titanic was massive. Cruises are massive. Boats, no matter the size of the vessel, they don't sink because they're on the Atlantic Ocean. No. They sink because water gets in. Now, don't let what's happening around you bring you down. It is painful. It is impossible sometimes, but do not allow it to bring you down. Do you know that a man does not die? You can't die from a snake bite. Did you know that? It is the venom that gets you. It is not the fact that a snake bit you, but there is venom coursing through your veins. And a lot of us are going on with life with venom coursing through our pains. And we're hurting people. We're perpetuating pain because we were hurt. So you need to recenter on the truth. Listen to what C.S. Lewis wrote. To love at all is to be vulnerable. Love anything and your heart will be wrong and possibly broken. If you want to make sure of keeping it intact, you must give it to no one, not even an animal. Wrap it carefully around with hobbies and little luxuries. Avoid all entanglements. Lock it up safe in the casket or coffin of your selfishness. But in that casket, safe, dark, motionless, airless, it will change. It will not be broken. It will become unbreakable, impenetrable, irredeemable. To love is to be vulnerable. So that pain is not the issue. You cannot avoid a heartbreak. But what I want to tell you this evening is, despite that heartbreak, you can still soar. So after you have recentered around the truth, after you have moved your perspective from, it's not what he did, the devil is trying to destroy the greatness in me, I need you to embrace new mercies. And when I say embrace new mercies, I'm talking about embracing God. I'm talking about positive things. Listen, have you been really ill and then you eat? It's like licking cardboard. Anybody? You lose your appetite so badly, you can't eat. They beg you to eat. You know you need to eat, but I can't eat because it tastes terrible. But if you don't eat, there's no strength. If you don't support yourself around with positive things, there will be no healing. Or if you heal, you see cracks in the walls, and then you put a plaster, you put a band-aid on bullet wounds. At the end of the day, it will come crumbling down. Lamentations 3:19-23. I'll never forget the trouble, the utter lostness, the taste of ashes, the poison I have swallowed. I remember it all. How well I remember the feeling of hitting rock bottom. But there's one thing I remember, and remembering, I keep a grip on hope. So I need you to keep that hope alive. Remember when I said it becomes difficult for you to hope, and that's what the devil is after. I was trying to give an illustration. So this lady was asking me, what happened to that guy? But because I had gone through a process, because my love was restored, because my sanity was restored, because my self-confidence was being restored, I told her, it doesn't matter. We were young, we were foolish, I got hurt, but I'm okay. He had proposed to her daughter. I would have stood in the way of his marriage, because no matter what I say, I would have said it with venom to her, and she would tell her daughter, I will not let you marry that man. Please be careful how you perpetrate pain, because through you, the devil will take out families. They are married, doctors, children, and they are doing ministry. Yes, that is what I would have stood in the way, because he did me wrong. Was my pain valid? Yes. Was my pain legit? Yes. But the devil is ripple effects, taking me out, taking him out, and then she will now feel women are pulling women down. Have you heard that before? Because that's what it is. Her mother will protect her. And then I would have exposed him, because all his healing would have come to naught because I said he did this 7 years ago. He did this to me 3 years ago. Please use your pain. Use your pain, and this is what I mean. If you don't do anything about weed, they will grow in your garden. They will grow under concrete. They will grow anywhere. As long as there's seed, there's soil, there's light, there's water, they will grow. If you don't do anything when you are in pain, you will unravel. So it's either negative or positive. It has been said that if you use your pain to fuel a habit, it catches on fast. I met a lady who dealt with heartbreak, and she had been trying to get on a project, and she poured all herself into that project. All the great psalms, "It is well with my soul," came from sorrow. I don't have the time to break it down. The greatest inventions came from the place of grief, came from the place of frustration. So please, when you are in pain, I need you to channel it. It is the greatest time to try and do. I know it sounds counterproductive. I can't do anything because I'm in pain. I'm not asking you to love. I'm asking you to build. They are two different things. I'm not asking you to say hi to a guy. I'm asking you to solve the next world problem. I'm not asking you to look for what's going to happen to me. I am asking you to find solutions. And because the brain is a magnificent thing. If you continue, it rewards you. So if you continue in that downward spiral, down you will go. But you continue to reward yourself, and great feats you shall. Please prioritize. The best time to grow is actually when you're in pain. Because when it's not hurting, you're not bothered. Those of us who are fit farming, it was because we couldn't enter that one dress, and it's pained us. Or because somebody said something. Let me give you an example. At one point in my life, please, forget about impressing people. I met this guy. I was too fat at 10. I finally lost weight. I was size 10. I became a size 8. And then he saw me later, and I was like, I will deal with this. I will pepper him now. And I appeared in all my glory of size 8. And he said, "Helen, what is going on? You look so skinny." I said, you cannot be pleased. Forget about it. Forget about people. I was on a flight recently. We were disembarking. I was in economy. There was a lady that I knew was in economy because she registered her presence. But when we were disembarking from the plane, she was doing a video. She sat in business class. And she was making a video talking about how she just got off. Listen, forget about social media. How she just got off from it, and she was holding somebody's champagne glass. And then you're having heart palpitations because somebody's telling lies. Please, we all know that there are filters that make people beautiful, yes. When you see it, you say, but you tell yourself, it's because she's originally beautiful. You will find a way to listen. I will get there. Social media. What I need you to do is disconnect. In your time of pain, one of them had mentioned it. Please disconnect. Remove yourself from the equation. Do not go back to check, because most people try to help themselves along the way. So you open Instagram and see his WhatsApp status, "Living my best life," and you are dying. You can't imagine. How can you be living your best life when I can't even breathe here? How can you be going on flights? How can you be taking such amazing... Why are you not feeling this pain? How could you have done this? I beg of you. Social media, it ain't your friend. If you go looking, you will see for yourself. It is not helpful. You need to occupy. Disconnect and occupy. Occupy yourself. Positive friends. Positive habits. Please, worship music can never be overestimated. Because when the word of God washes over you, it heals you in ways that "I love you" from a man cannot do. Because when the man takes away his "I love you," or he doesn't give it as often, you don't feel less loved. You don't feel less solid. You don't feel less strong. You don't feel less beautiful. You don't feel less confident, irrespective of the number of breakfasts that have come your way. I want to say something. Let me ask you another question. I've had my heart broken. Left hand. Left hand. Left hand, left hand, left hand, left. Left. Check what the one you eat with. That's your right hand. Left hand. Right hand. So I have served breakfast and I have received. No. Put your hands up. Your left hand, I have served breakfast. Your left hand, I have received, I've been hurt. This is not up. I have 4 minutes. I will not leave this stage. Put it up, put it up, put it up. And I've also broken someone's heart. So please look around. Just keep it up, please. Keep it up. Don't tell lies. Which one? Have you served and received? Put it up. Please look at it. There's enough pain to go around. There is enough pain to go around. But there's something I want to tell you. They say to err is human, but I need you to think before you act. There are times where you need to end relationships. I need you to hear me. There are times where you need to end relationships. It's not going the right way. You made a mistake. Please, you need to be honorable. At the back of your mind, remember, the devil is attacking. There will be conversations, so be graceful with how you let anyone down. Here is a guide. First thing, think about it. What is the what? What is the why? Why are you doing what needs to be done? Now, I'm going to say the same thing in 2 different ways. But you need to be able to, don't just jump out there and start to talk. Why do you need to end this? Why does this need to end? And then you would speak. But by all means, expect a response. Sir Isaac Newton says, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Law of physics. Emotion, it's usually not equal. Because the person is reacting from pain. So expect that. A lot of times, you break up with someone, you end a relationship, you cause trauma, and you expect the person to take it. Let me flip it to the other side. Please, don't ask why. It never helps. Because when I asked him, how could you have done this to me? There was a case of infidelity. How could you have done this to me? There is not a single answer he gave that made sense. Then I continued digging. I continued to unravel how bad this infidelity was. Stop asking. It would never, I promise you, it would never give you the response. There was a couple I spoke to. The lady was the one that sidestepped. He was so upset. He went to confront the guy. How dare you? You know this girl is with me. And then the other man was trying to defend himself. No, she's not even my type. He got more offended. He went back. So this guy doesn't even have regard for you. Meanwhile, the other gentleman was trying to save himself. It's not like that. No matter what it is, because you are in pain, because you don't deserve that pain, because you have given your everything, no matter what is given, it will not satisfy you. So don't bother asking. Don't bother asking. Let your heart be true. Go with honesty and not brutality. Please, be kind. It is very, very important. You need to be kind. The popular saying goes, to err is human. Please, don't err. Be intentional, don't err. And when I mean err, don't evade. Please, all of you that Ghosters United, is evil. Stop it. It is pure evil. You can't just cut off. It is pure evil. Listen to me. It is pure evil. Because when you ghost somebody, the person begins to have mental health issues. I'm not good enough. While you are being lazy, mentally lazy, you are trying to avoid dealing with her crying. You are trying to avoid with his theatrics. You ghost. She will get the message. He will get the message. Meanwhile, the message that the devil is perpetuating at the back of her mind is, you're not good enough. It happened with A, it happened with B, it happened with C. Meanwhile, you just wanted to hit and run. And then a different kind of conversation is happening. So please, no evading. Do it in person. You owe that much. Text messages is not in person. Emails is not in person. Sending a message, I'm terrible with message platforms. You will get me if you send me a text message, because before I see it, it will be 2 months. Then you leave me for 2 months thinking we're still dating. Then all of a sudden, I've been served breakfast, hot. That one is what, cold, lukewarm? How do I reheat that breakfast? Please, don't rush into it. Listen. It takes you a while to realize that this is not working. I need to end this relationship. Don't rush into that conversation. Think about what you want to say, how you want to say it. Understand that no matter what you say, that pain will still be there. You can't solve everything, but as much as you can, keep damage to a minimum. So as you declare, be careful not to contribute to negative conversations that is going to happen in your mind. Let me quickly make a distinction. What is the difference? Let me ask you before I tell you. First love and true love. Which one is real? Which one is more important? Is it possible to have first love and true love separately? Is it possible? I fell in love at 16. I don't care what you want to say. That was my definition of love. I was in that relationship. That was my first love. That guy was everything. But the beautiful part about it is that I healed and I experienced a different kind of love. I experienced what I would call, my husband is not my first love. He's my true love. He's my only love. He has loved me to the point where I can't remember happy times with my ex. But there was a time in my life where that ex can compete with God. So this is what I want to tell you this evening. Time is the most effective medicine, but you need to give some time. Don't rush your process. Don't rush your process, irrespective of how it went down, irrespective of what she has said, irrespective of what he has said. What is the truth? Recenter yourself. I see the devil. Please, he makes a table in the presence of my enemies. What does that mean? Excuse me. When you start being attacked on each side, please look for a table. When you feel cornered in, you feel squeezed in, Lord, show me that table. That is where your healing comes from. That is where your healing comes from. Recenter yourself to the truth. God is love. God loves you. He died. He left his riches that you may live life abundantly, not on the job, but in your heart. Not just at the office, but in school, in your family life, as a husband, as a wife. So please, there are great men and women sitting here. If you've come to the conclusion that this is not for me, you haven't healed properly. Go back. Because hurts people. We need to love. We need to encourage. Love is beautiful. Love is true. Love is real. And God bless you.